someone. Always trust my gut.
Hello and welcome to Gutted. I'm Aleece.
And I'm Tony, and we're here to spill our guts about horror film trailers.
Today we have another horror trailer review for you all. We will be reviewing the trailer for The Exorcist Believer, set to be released on October 6th. This film is directed by David Gordon Green and written by David Gordon Green, Peter Sattler, and Scott Teems.
All right. Very excited for this one.
Are you?
Man, let's check out that trailer.
What did you do?
Trip, drop, trip, drop, trip.
Is that Catherine's heartbeat? They're beating in sync.
God played a trick on you.
All right, that was Exorcist Believer. Tony, what happened in that trailer?
Okay, we have two young girls who go missing in the woods, only to be found possibly 3 days later. Although one of them seems to think that it's only been a couple hours.
Yeah,
but I didn't see her wearing a watch, so you know.
Kids don't know time. It's not that weird.
And of course, you know, it's like, what happened when you're out in those woods? And we get this little ding, 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 this little tease. Oh, the tease.
The hint of the tubular bells.
So the young girls are experiencing the onset of something that is wrong. And we know that this is a possession. And one little girl walks in. Well, actually, we get a lot of these like scary kind of like convulsing cuts and like a, who are you? Where'd you come from? Or like a, I wasn't talking to you, daddy. And little girl who kind of looks like Reagan from The Exorcist walks into the church and is like, body in the blood, body in the blood, body in the blood. And then all of a sudden it's like, boom, tubular bells. This is The Exorcist. Scary shit's happening. And these little girls they have to like call in Ellen Burstyn to like exorcise them. And
Yeah, because now she's got credentials now.
oh, she's got that silvery hair.
She looks mature and knowledgeable.
Love it. Love to see it.
Yeah.
And then so it looks like there's maybe an exorcism that's going to be performed on these girls, hence the title of the movie.
I mean, if there's not, I would be very disappointed.
They look pretty cruddy, I would say. Like, I'm not
Who
saying
looks
like,
cruddy?
the two little girls. I'm just saying like generally messed up. Like they have little crosses in their foreheads and they look very crusty.
They should.
Eyes. They look like they have glaucoma.
They should look. If they looked like all pristine, then I guess demons got nicer as time went by.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is that the look of these girls, it looks gritty. It's like, whoa, like, oh, they look like they are possessed as hell.
Yeah, so we're definitely in the Exorcist world.
I want to start off by saying that The Exorcist, a near perfect horror movie that is set to be remade by a man who goes by the name of David Gordon Green. And if you don't know this name and you're a horror fan, go check out the Halloween reboot.
The most recent Halloween trilogy.
Yes. So David Gordon Green is the guy who says, I'm going to take the first movie of a really great horror franchise and ignore all the sequels and then make my own movie. I'm going to make my own story.
Yeah.
I think that David Gordon Green is now a polarizing figure in the horror world. And by being so bold and brazen as to do a reboot of The Exorcist, this really could be the make or break film for DGG, as you like to call it.
It's kind of like you had your first shot with the trilogy, the Halloween.
But it was like good and then almost really good, but not quite. And then, nope, we hated it.
Yeah.
Although with a couple little rewrites from a couple of lesser known podcasters, that one could have been real good.
You mean gutted?
Yeah, exactly.
It's a couple of rewrites from Gutted. The people at Gutted, whoever they are. After seeing, and this is not a pre-gut or post-gut for Halloween, the most recent Halloween trilogy, but after seeing Halloween Ends, I was like, I kind of appreciated Halloween Kills. But unfortunately, because Halloween Ends was so controversial and quote unquote not good,
unquote not good.
Not good, according to most fans.
Not to Corey.
Not to Corey. People love Corey.
I love Corey.
Do you love Corey?
I'm a Corey fan.
Corey loves Corey. I'm just saying. Okay, so anyway, the point of all this is that DGG, he came out with his, right out the gate, first shot, redoing a beloved horror franchise, Halloween.
Right.
And now his second shot is Exorcist. Tall order. I really applaud his bold choice to remake these top tier fan favorites.
The Exorcist is a perfect movie.
It's a perfect movie. And if it was me, I would not try to remake a perfect movie. I would remake something that's probably not that good.
Right.
Like, I'm going to go remake Santa Jaws and just try to be a little bit better than Santa Jaws. I don't know.
All right. Waiting for that David Gordon Green Santa Jaws trilogy reboot.
If you made Santa Jaws and you're listening, I apologize. I'm not saying that Santa Jaws is not perfect.
All right. Who's in this movie? We get a reprise from the one and only Ellen Burstyn.
Yeah.
The two little girls, I don't recognize them.
No. Yeah.
But we didn't get any hints at Reagan coming back. So
we didn't. And we haven't searched on the interweb too much because we don't want it to be spoiled for us.
We don't. So yeah, we don't know if Linda Blair is going to make a little cameo. We did see a picture of Linda Blair as a young Reagan. On that note, for those listening and or watching, we're not doing any prior research. We're just using the trailer to try to break down.
We're barely looking at IMDb.
And guess. Yeah. That's part of the fun of doing these, because if we were to go and scour the internet and research,
I'm sure we could find
go frame by frame on the trailer, we'd probably give a really accurate idea of what's going to happen in the movie,
thus spoiling it for us.
Yeah, and that's no fun. That's no fun.
Usually we start these pre-guts with, what does it remind you of? But I think that's pretty obvious. Reminds us of
Halloween
Santa
Ends.
Jaws.
I'm still excited for it. I think it's one of those things where it's like you have to be curious to see what David Gordon Green's going to do with it.
Yeah.
On that note, let's get into predictions. Aleece, what do you think is going to happen in The Exorcist Believer?
I think that it's going to stay kind of parallel to what happens in the original Exorcist, but just with two girls instead of one.
Two is better than one, right?
I notice that happens frequently in sequels or reboots. They take the original and they alter it by one aspect, and usually they think that more is better. So it's like, okay, how are we going to redo this? We'll do the same thing that we did last time, or the same thing that was done last time, but with two instead of one. So maybe that's a little cynical of me, but I'm like, oh, if that's really all they do and they keep the same formula of The Exorcist, but they just alter a couple things here and there, like the crucifix masturbation scene, how are they going to top that?
I don't think they're going to do anything like that.
They're going to do something though, because it's The Exorcist. And at that time, that was the most insane thing that could happen, I think, in film.
It appears that these two young girls were best friends before and they went missing together and now they're possessed together. How sweet. They do everything together.
They're BFFs.
One little white girl, one little black girl. And they are, not that matters, but it seems very apparent in the trailer. And then we have Ellen Burstyn. There's no real introduction of any sort of priest or pastor. There's no Father Karras type character.
It looks like there is a nun. She's like a nun/nurse.
Okay, so maybe she's the main exorciser?
Maybe so. And along with Ellen Burstyn, because she has had some time to practice and study up on it.
She's written a book.
She wrote a book, so now she can probably do one.
Yeah.
She can do an exorcist.
Got the experience.
Exorcism. Yeah.
So I mean, I remember in the first of David Gordon Green's Halloween reboot, just what do they call it? Halloween 2018.
I think it was 2017.
There was this sort of like female empowerment that went with Jamie Lee Curtis's character.
The 3 generations of women.
Yeah. So I think that same thing's going to happen in The Exorcist, which, that could be very interesting.
That's a good prediction. So instead of, a very dominated male presence trying to save the day, it's dominated by these females, like female empowerment trying to save the day. So it's Ellen Burstyn, who experienced it in the past. She will lend her hand along with Ann Dowd, who plays the nun/nurse.
She has the experience with her daughter, and maybe she's gone to that side of practicing like spiritual healing and learning religions of the world, because she did mention that it takes many religions to deal with this sort of entity, Pazuzu. She didn't say Pazuzu, but she did make it seem apparent.
She said, I've met you before.
Yeah. So I think we're dealing with Pazuzu.
I think we are.
And maybe we'll get one other demon. Maybe it's like Pazuzu
Pazuzu's
Jr.
best friend.
Yeah. Who's Pazuzu's best friend?
Let us know, guys. If you know who Pazuzu's best friend is, then that's the other one.
I'm going to say Rizuzu.
Rizuzu and Pazuzu. This sounds like the Muppet movie. So it seems like the central theme here is unity. And maybe, like you said, it probably doesn't matter that we have one girl who's white and one girl who's black, but it might. So maybe it is also kind of leading into that overall theme of unity.
So you think there'll be some form of social commentary embedded into this movie?
Of course. That's what Evil Dies Tonight was all about.
Yeah. So it's like, we all have to come together to defeat this evil.
The overall evil that we should be fighting is evil.
So do you think the two families are going to be at odds with each other and maybe like
blaming the other daughter?
Yeah. Or blaming
You're a
each
bad
other.
Influence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's going to be dealing with racist elements.
Yeah. Perhaps racist and or religious biases, sexism, because it's going to be like, oh, well, you're not a priest. You're just a nun, or you're just a mom. So we'll have some racism. We'll have some sexism. We'll have some religious intolerance, momism.
Yeah.
That's sexism. Part of the sexism.
Oh, okay. If it is heavy-handed with that sort of message, I don't think I'm going to like that as much. If it's in there, I'm totally fine with it. But if it's like the Evil Dies Tonight thing, that was the weakest part of Halloween Kills.
It was just kind of
need it.
Yeah, like hitting us over the head with this Evil Dies Tonight. Overall, though, I will say I enjoyed Halloween Kills with the absence of Evil Dies Tonight.
Yeah. Yeah, because, I'm not trying to learn. Actually, I am trying to learn life lessons from horror movies. Never mind. I didn't say that.
I don't mind learning a lesson. I also don't mind the social commentary. But when it seems to be way too overbearing and obvious, then it feels a little insulting.
I think that by using the Halloween reboot as a guideline for what David Gordon Green's going to do, I feel like that is a pretty solid prediction. Who is the character based off of the trailer that you think is most likely going to die?
I kind of think Ellen Burstyn.
Yeah, I'd agree with you. I'd say that Chris McNeil has to do some sort of sacrificial.
She's going to be the Father Karras, and she's going to be like, all right, I'll take both of these demons and then kill myself. If we're following along the same format of the first one.
What if the two little girls die? Would you be like, damn, that's brutal?
They have been killing a lot more kids in movies these days in the past couple years. And you're just like, oh, wow. Okay. I guess we're in that era. So maybe they actually will both die.
Yeah.
Maybe they won't try to have the parental figure sacrificing for the young ones. Maybe they'll try. Maybe she'll try. And then the two girls will die anyway.
So this isn't going to be another series where we get the Exorcist believer, the heretic, and the Exorcist believer.
We're not going to get heretic, the believer.
The Gemini killer.
Gemini killer, the believer.
It would be amazing if they made a reference to Brad Dourif and the Gemini killer, because that was one of the best things about the Exorcist series. Based off the trailer, anything else that you saw in there that you think you're going to like?
I have kind of low hopes, and I think that's a good position to start at. Having low hopes is a good way for me to go into a movie that is trying to reboot something that I view as perfect, because that way I'm not disappointed.
Yeah.
And so if he happens to surpass my expectations, which would not be hard because they're already pretty low, then then cool.
Yeah.
Cool for me.
What I liked about the trailer was the last bit with the oversaturated black and white scenes. I don't know if any of those scenes are going to be in the movie itself, but that was really cool to see in the trailer. Like this quick shaky camera cuts with the oversaturated black and white footage. Something about that did seem very scary. And I think we did see a little small glimpse of Pazuzu in that black and white
probably.
cut.
Yeah.
Yeah, they try to sneak it in there like they did in the first one, just a little pop. I think that I'm going to like the cinematography and the makeup effects. Those look pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to like the demon voice.
Now that you're bringing up the demon voice, that was a part of the trailer that did not work for me because Mercedes McCambridge, her voice was just creepy without modification or too much modification.
I don't know if there has been an exorcism movie that has come to that level that Mercedes McCambridge brought to The Exorcist. And one of the reasons why that movie was so great was because of Reagan's voice.
Yeah. That voice was so unsettling and it sounded real. It didn't sound like something that was modulated in post.
Right.
Or like auto-tuned.
But I'm sure it's something that David Gordon Green has contemplated. So, based off the trailer, it didn't sound like the best, but maybe there'll be something that'll surprise us in there. As far as things that I won't like, and that might be one of the things where it's going to be like, it's not going to be as good. I might be willing to overlook that.
But overall, I think the thing I'm going to like the most is the Tubular Bells coming back.
Maybe we'll get a little remix where it's got some big bass drops like boom.
Well, yeah, well,
I made it sound more like Mario Brothers. Sorry.
Yeah, that did. They had like a remix for the John Carpenter's theme from Halloween, where John Carpenter actually did have a hand in remaking it, I think with his son. And I enjoyed that.
That could be something to look forward to.
Yeah. For my scene song playlist.
Let's talk about the poster. So this poster is of the two girls and they are in full possession. They're in black and white, that oversaturated black and white, which I really like.
Which you like.
And it says The Exorcist Believer underneath. So it's not much to it. It's kind of like shifted 90 degrees so that it's like a landscape portrait
on its side.
It's like they took the picture with their iPhone and just kind of like flipped it on its side. Yeah, it looks cool, looks creepy. I think the little girl does sort of look like Reagan.
She looks like Reagan a lot, and it's got the both of them, and it has somebody in the foreground holding a cross, and it's kind of blurry. They both look pretty creepy and sweaty.
Yeah, greasy and sweaty. And also crusty.
Good. Yeah, they look crusty and sweaty. They look good. Where would you want this poster?
I'd put this poster up in my podcast room for a week or two.
Yeah.
It looks pretty cool. Creepy little kids who are possessed rank high in my list of poster stuff.
We both saw a little girl the other day walking with this giant doll that was as big as she was. And we're like, oh, how cute. That doll is as big as she is. And then as we got closer, we realized she was holding a stuffed Reagan. I was like, that's even cuter. I would like to see some merch of both of these little girls as dolls. I think that would be cute.
Yeah, that'd be cute.
Big-headed dolls that are the size of like a 2-year-old child. I have a question for you. So in the first one, we did have these iconic scary moments. So we had the crucifix scene. Mm-hmm. We also had the vomiting up split pea soup scene.
Yum.
And we had the head spinning around. And I think in a non-edited version, there's Reagan crawling down the stairs backwards.
The old crab walk.
The crab walk.
That was in the director's cut.
So those 4 scenes were all terrifying upon first viewing and also very iconic.
Yeah.
Do you think we're going to get any one of those?
I feel like the most likely would be the vomiting or the head spinning. But, the thing about The Exorcist that made it so groundbreaking and such a great movie is that it had those things, and no one had ever seen anything like that in a horror movie up to that point. And every movie after that had copied what The Exorcist had done.
Yeah.
So at this point, I feel like most things have been done. So I think David Gordon Green shouldn't try to, come up with something new. I don't think that's necessary these days. I think just telling a good story and having solid writing and, good effects, all that stuff is going to be more important than that one big iconic scene. However, if he manages to pull off some sort of iconic scare like that, then that would be amazing. I don't think it's going to happen, but if it did, that'd be really cool.
Yeah. I was trying to think about this. I really think he's going to try to nod to the first one by having something related to one of those scenes. And I was thinking, the vomit sounds like the most plausible, but how do you make vomit scarier? Because these days people vomit up blood. They
Poop.
Vomit up poop?
Yeah, that's right. I said it. You heard it first. Best prediction ever.
If they vomit up poop, then we said it first. Actually, Tony did. I don't want credit for that.
No, I think that happened in South Park. So
that's what I was thinking. That sounds very South Park.
Yeah.
I'm thinking they're going to eat an animal. They're going to eat like a small dog or a cat and then vomit up the cat or small dog.
Well, that's happened too.
It has?
Yeah, Dead Alive. They ate the dog, and he's like, you ate my dog, and she's like, not all of it.
No,
or something
she
like
said,
that.
Your mother ate my dog. Not all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that did happen then. Okay, but that was in a very cartoonish sense. I feel like this is going to be even worse. So we're going to see like bones and chunks of the animal's parts coming out whole and bloody. And
so you want to see some really grisly grit.
Halloween Kills was very grisly.
Yeah.
There were some death scenes where you saw every bit, every tooth and
Bone
gelatinous
cracking
matter.
Yeah.
Yeah. So something's going to be really disgusting.
Yeah.
They're going to eat some pets here and vomit that up into someone's face. That's
all
my
right.
guess.
Here's hoping for that. Here's hoping.
Here's hoping.
When would you see The Exorcist Believer? Are you going to see this opening weekend? Are you going to see it in theaters eventually so that it doesn't get spoiled for you? Are you going to wait for streaming, even though you have the AMC A-list? Or did you see all you need to see because Halloween Ends was so heinously bad that you swore off David Gordon Green for the rest of your life?
I never said that.
Corey fans.
Corey fan for life.
That was supposed to be a finger heart, but
Finger
I did
heart.
one of those.
I'm going to see it opening weekend because right now in the year, it seems like the horror fervor has kind of tapered off.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a slowdown in horror movies that are coming out, especially around like this spooky season, October, September time.
Yeah.
So there aren't that many horror movies that are coming out right now. So I would probably see this opening weekend.
And The Exorcist Believer was moved up by a week so that it didn't have to compete with a Taylor Swift movie.
Yeah, thank goodness. Tony's really relieved.
Damn, which one am I going to go see? Taylor Swift or The Exorcist?
That would have been tough.
I agree with you. This is an opening weekend movie for me for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very excited. I'm cautiously excited.
Exactly.
Actually, you know what? I would say that I am excited for this movie, but with like a little bit of anger in my belly that I'm ready to unleash on David Gordon Green if he messes
I'm excited
this
to
up.
be angry.
Yeah, but still, I'm excited for it.
I'm excited to take to the message boards.
And I hope that it is good, although I don't think it's going to live up to the original, and it just never can.
Maybe the song, the Tubular Bells remake will be cool.
And then that will be the
Saving Grace.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
We can put that on a playlist somewhere. I'm excited. I am cautiously intrigued, I would say.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so any last words on the Exorcist trailer?
Body in the blood. Body in the blood.
Let the bodies hit the blood. Let the bodies hit the blood. All right.
Any drowning pool fans out there? Yeah. Message us.
Or if you liked what you've heard today, please subscribe, like, and or give us a rating. Thank you for watching and or listening. This has been another episode of Gutted.